If you could please take your seats. And put your phones on silent. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Soheila Adelipour, and I'm truly honored to be here tonight. Before I begin, I want to thank all of you for taking the time away from your busy schedules and making the effort to be here. I sincerely appreciate your generosity and do not take your kindness for granted. I'm touched and humbled by your support. Thank you. When I was asked to speak, my response was, me, speak? I have not done anything special. I do not hold a high position in any company. I do not even have a great resume to fall back on. Worse of all, in the world of social media, the only world that matters these days, if you Google my name, not much is going to pop up. Now I thought, if I had been invited to a dance and a hair contest instead, then I would feel right at home and think, okay, bring it on. Who in here dares to out-shake, and out-shimmy me? These hips honestly have never lied, and nevertheless, if all fails, I might very well do that. We can start dancing, Shara. But no such luck, I'm here to speak. However, I, as a speaker, am the chosen one, and you, my dear friends, are unfortunately my captive audience. You have no choice but to sit and listen to me for about good 28 minutes. Anyhow, if you get bored, sleep you're restless, please feel free to check your phones, email, text, WhatsApp. Go ahead and check the latest post, give them a couple of likes, check my Instagram page, first name, last name, by the way, give me a couple of likes as well. I need to feed my ego and feel more secure in this great, cosmic, amazing world of the social media. Feel free to do whatever you want, short of walking out. I do not know what the return policy is here, but I hear it's more difficult than Sax's last call, so forget about that one. So go on, put your phones on silent, please, and scroll up and down as much as your heart desires. Again, do not forget my page. As I mentioned before, I do not have much to show off besides my wonderful family. However, if you want to dig into nitty-gritty, I am proud of 3 accomplishments in particular. First, Soheila Adelipour for Life Foundation. I created my non-for-profit organization only 2 weeks after losing my wonderful, kind, and charismatic son. He was only 22 years young. I created the foundation because I wanted to change the nature of the ultimate and life-changing tragedy, every parent's worst nightmare: losing a child. I wanted to turn the extreme negative into something positive, and hopefully, as a result, keep my son's name alive and on everyone's lips. I thought it would be a win-win situation in a very cruel, vicious, heartless, and unfair world. I created the Soheila Adelipour for Life Foundation, and under his name, scholarships were given, hospitals were built, orphanages were helped, people's financial problems were solved, and as a result, lives were altered. My wonderful son, Stefan, is no longer with us, but his name can still make a difference in this physical world. My second accomplishment, finishing my book, from wrestling with God to resting with God. I became a quote unquote author because I wanted the world to know about my wonderful young brother, Dr. Fariborz Nobandegani, a brain surgeon, and my talented sister, Zohre Zand, an architect, and their struggles. I wanted everyone to know about their exceptional spirit during those tough times. Him, my only brother, after 8 months of hospital stay, surviving leukemia, surviving a septic shock, surviving a cardiac arrest, surviving a liver failure, only to leave this world cancer-free in 24 hours from pneumonia. And her, my sister, an energetic, athletic, and creative young woman, becoming handicapped in the most tragic way, leaving the dark and silent world that she was trapped in for 2.5 years of hell, torture, and agony. She passed on exactly the week that my brother had to check into the hospital. How the two of them never lost their smiles, their courage, or their grace. How they fought till the last minute. I also wanted the world to know how selfless, supportive, committed, and present my wonderful community was. How without the help of my family and friends and their unconditional love, support, and kindness, none of us would have survived emotionally and mentally during those tough and heartbreaking years. The support of our incredible friends throughout those horrific years was our brick wall, our caisson, our strength. I wrote the book From Wrestling with God to Resting with God because I want people in despair to know no matter how difficult life becomes or how horrific the circumstances, there's always a chance to find happiness within and see beauty in life. As Nietzsche said, he who has a why to live for can bear with almost anyhow. My third accomplishment, my most difficult accomplishment, was keeping my smile on in spite of everything. No matter what curveball life has thrown at me, which were plenty, no matter how many heartbreaking and tragic chapters were added to my book of life, which whoever was writing it, I'm sure was on acid. No matter how many times I was placed in the position of a life-changing test and trial, which at times it felt like a cruel game, I managed to keep my smile on. I woke up, dressed up, kept my chin up, and smiled. And that is what I want to speak about tonight. Smile. Going through life and its challenges and never losing your beautiful smile. Let's start with a fact. On August 21st, 1911, the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci was stolen from the Louvre. During the 2.5-year period before it was recovered and restored to its home in the museum, more people came to stare at the empty space where the famous masterpiece was hung than visited the mysterious smile in the 10 preceding years and view the painting itself. There are many ways to spin this remarkable story, but it partly reminds us of the power of nostalgia. Doubtless, the people who came to see the blank wall dreamed of how wonderful it would be if only the canvas was restored. They imagined the painting back on the wall and visualized the enigmatic smile. They looked at the blank space and tried to envision how magnificent the masterpiece must have looked. Countless visitors walked past the empty wall and shook their heads in regret. The famous smile was no more. We all suffer from stolen painting syndrome. It is worthwhile to remember that when whatever we yearn for is with us, we tend to take it for granted. May being reminded of this hopefully help us cherish what we have, rather than stare longingly at the blank wall. May it help us live for the whys in our lives and not the why nots. May it help us let go of the life we have planned and expected versus accepting the one that is waiting for us. May it help us deal with unforeseen change and help us focus our energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. Panta rei, everything flows, meaning everything is constantly changing, or better, you can never step in the same river twice. Heraclitus, a philosopher born in 535 BC, captured this idea at the time when thoughts were difficult to understand, using just these two words, panta rei. He believed that the nature of life is change. The only thing constant is change. And to resist change is to resist the essence of our existence. So long ago, Heraclitus realized that one causes many of the problems in one's life through a refusal to accept life for what it truly is, change. When we are not able to change a situation that we are stuck in or is not in our liking, we are challenged to change ourselves. And while doing that, we learn to master the change rather than giving it permission to master us. And once we accomplish that, we will not be the prisoner of our past. Whatever did happen was just a temporary, tough situation, not a life sentence. Most of us have spent our lives in should-haves. Most of us have spent our lives caught up in plans, ambitious dreams, regrets, expectations, guilt, or shame. We should not be the outcome or byproduct of our circumstances. We should be the creation of our own decisions. We all read or have been told bedtime stories with happily ever after endings. Those three words cannot be further from any reality, and that is why those stories are called fairy tales. Life has never promised a happily ever ending story. In fact, life has never promised anyone anything. Life is not on a written schedule. Life does not come with a guarantee. Life does not come with a roadmap or a built-in navigation. Life just is. Human mind does not have the capability to understand or comprehend it. Trying to understand the logic behind it is a waste of valuable now. You may ask why? Because life is magical, not logical. Life is not there to be understood. Life is there to be felt and lived. You cannot comprehend or question life. There are beautiful things in life, like life, love, pray, dream, that no one has a complete and logical answer for, that no one can really understand, but they are there. Let's compare life to love, another subject that's unexplainable with the logical mind. Can you conceive or explain love without experiencing it? Let's talk about the connection or the philosophy behind falling in love. Can anyone find the logic or reason of why when two people meet, they have this strong mutual feeling of passion and affection? What is love at the first sight? How does one explain infatuation? You cannot study love. You cannot practice love. You cannot measure love. You cannot philosophize love. You have to just love and feel its strong force. If you leave it up to your intellect only, you can never fall in love and feel that unique and special feeling. Even the most rational and reasonable people have been deep in love. As Einstein said, you can't blame falling in love on gravity. Love is a fact of life. You cannot touch it or measure it. It is not an effort. It has always been there. It's a feeling available to everybody. But unless you allow your heart to take over, you will never feel it deep within. We know love is a strong force, and we know it exists. Let's compare life to something more tangible, an everyday thing like food. Can you understand food? If I place a whole watermelon in front of you, assuming you have never seen one, and ask you to understand it, would you? Could you? Don't you see how refreshing, sweet, and juicy is the stuff inside that green, thick skin? It's foamy but watery, kind of slimy, perfect for summer. Still no? How about if I cut it open and give you a piece? Now you get it. One has to let the taste buds get the feeling. Only then he would recognize the food. Food is for eating, and life is for living. It is not math or algebra. Life stays unknown and a mystery until you live it and experience it firsthand. There is no understanding life. There is no understanding love. And there is no understanding food. Life is for living. Live your life and don't question it. We try to find logic in life. We expect it to constantly go our way. We feel in control when things change in our favor, and we expect it to keep staying that way. If there is an unwanted change, no. It should be those that we ask for and we desire. It must be exactly our way. After all, we repeatedly say, it's my life, isn't it? The only constant thing in this life is change. Remember, Panta Rei, nothing stays constant, but everything constantly changes. Change can be in any direction, at times up or down, uncommonly left or right, occasionally in the shape of a hurricane, therefore a total chaos. As someone asked me once, so tell me where to go. To the left, where nothing is right, or to the right, that nothing is left. That is the nature of life. That is its essence. The nature and essence of life is changing, renewing, and moving forward constantly. The constantly part is for sure constant. That part comes with a guarantee. When I say that is the nature of life, please pay attention to those two words, nature and life. Seasons change, flowers change, weather changes, days change into night, bright sun changes into darkness, dark skies change into a beautiful sunrise, cold snow in winter gives into a beautiful spring. Change is part of nature, therefore life. No two moments are exactly the same, even though at times they look as if they are. You can never recreate the same picture. Easy example. Try standing in the same spot and throw paper airplanes out, one after the other. No matter how many times you try, they never fly exactly in the same direction as the one before. Nothing ever stays exactly the same. Therefore, it's shapeless, it's fluid, not solid. And in order to be one with the changing life, you have to become formless and fluid as well. Life is like an ocean, fluid and in motion. It moves forward every second without fail. It never stays the same. It can be beautiful and soothing one day, and horrifying and intimidating the other. That is the nature of the ocean. That is the theater of life. The key is to become one with life. to merge with it, to be fluid, shapeless, formless, not solid, to follow the same motion, not to get stuck in our old, rigid ways, and to give ourselves away freely and dance with it. To follow its ups and downs as we make our way through life's adversities. Throw a rock in the water, no matter what size. Watch it sink instantly. Throw a ton of water into the ocean. Watch it dance, blend in, and become one body. As our lives change, we have to change with it to be able to continue along, to move forward. We have to put our old beliefs and our ways of life aside, and we become one with it. It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. Charles Darwin. Imagine a beautiful harbor with rows of boats, all in different sizes and colors. They sit calmly and move slightly to the slow current of the water, in peace and harmony, while attached to the wooden docks. The sunset behind their colorful sails, the golden rays on the shimmering water, the boat's reflection on the ripples create a picture perfect and breathtaking sight. Until the day that the wild winds pick up, the dark clouds gather, and massive and vicious storm approaches. The peaceful and quiet harbor becomes a turbulent and violent chaos. The boats move fiercely and collide with the neighboring ones. They are in despair and on the verge of destruction. One huge wave, and they're destroyed and ruined if they stay exactly where they were and not repositioned to a different surrounding. Chances are, when the storm is finished and the blue skies are back, not much is left from those beautiful boats. The smart thing and the right thing to do is to move them to the heart of the storm, in the middle of the open water, away from the wooden docks, away from their limited hard surroundings, away from their everyday world. Those surroundings, those beliefs, those everyday world does not apply now. They need to change and move. By relocating them and altering the way they have been positioned, you give them a chance of floating over the massive waves and dancing without restraint to the strong winds. They are free to move. They let go of the restricted and familiar environment. They adapt and adjust to the flow of what life at that moment has offered them. Chances are, when the winds are gone, the boats are floating on the blue water again. Our lives, like the ocean, the sea, or the river, is smooth and calm one day, and wild and angry the other. It's blue and shiny one day, and gray and dull the other. It's free form and soft one day, and cold and hard the other. One cannot control the direction of the winds, but one can adjust the sails to go along with it. There is never a secure way for a situation to be. There's just what happens, what one decides to do about it, and how we respond to it. But we have been taught and told in the Western culture that we can actually control and manage our lives against unwanted changes and circumstances. We assume we own a built-in navigation and a Waze app, so we could avoid all the obstacles on our way to what change we expect to have. But once we expect, we're setting ourselves up for disappointment. News alert. No one, not the strongest, not the wealthiest, neither the smartest, not even the most powerful person on the face of the earth is exempt. Everyone has disappointments. Everyone has heartbreaks. Everyone has issues. Everyone has problems. Everyone feels pain. Anyone can get sick, and everyone eventually will depart. Pain is unavoidable. However, suffering is optional. But one should not be defined by his or her suffering, anguish, or stress. One shouldn't identify him or herself with a problem. One shouldn't take the so-called misfortune personal, because nothing in this world is. The past and all its heartbreaks are not present in our actual reality now. They live only on our mind, and our thoughts give it more vitality and power than it deserves. Thoughts are the shadows of our feelings, always darker, emptier, and simpler. Nietzsche. Any feeling or emotion that you carry around is created in your mind. The root is always in your thoughts. Choose your thoughts carefully and wisely. Be more conscious and careful of what you get your mind busy with. When you have the choice of thinking of a happy, peaceful, and loving thought, switch your brain instantly. Don't jump in the whirlpool of why me or what went wrong. You will be pulled down quicker than you think. Change your thoughts and you will change your world. With practice, one learns to respond thoughtfully to challenging times rather than react emotionally. Don't take life too seriously. You will never get out of it alive. It is the person that decides how to overcome the suffering caused by guilt, pain, or death. It will be your resolution how to win mentally and spiritually and do not drown in the sea of sadness. You choose to go on living or continue on dying. To diminish the suffering of pain, we need to make a crucial distinction between the pain of pain and the pain we create by our thoughts about the pain. The minute we accept the new reality of our lives and adapt to the new my life, the easier we can pick up the pieces, positive or negative, and continue living. Suffering is a chronic and accepted part of everyone's life, some more than the rest. There are no limits to suffering. There are no calculated amounts or a quota on suffering. Life questions each person exclusively, and each person can only feel the pain individually and answer for his own experience and respond to his changing life. The inner accomplishment and joy is unique to each person. But to be miserable is universal, and it takes no effort. Anyone can feel miserable without trying. It becomes a second nature almost immediately. And after a while, people feel that they have given so much of themselves away to misery that it has become their confidant, their companion, their best friend. Misery gets them. Like a shadow, it follows them everywhere. After a while, it feels right and comfortable to be unhappy. Being a victim and feeling like one is addictive. You and your misery stay side by side to the point that gradually it takes over your day-to-day life. It grows stronger every day. Now you feel powerless. And you have forgotten along the way that you are responsible for giving misery complete control. That if you have welcomed and included him in your daily life, you can dispose of him too. It is not easy. To be miserable is one of the oldest human habits, but it is your choice to get rid of it. The most difficult part is the realization that you are the master of your intellect and not a slave to its needs. That you are the only one responsible for those thoughts in your mind, and that only you are the one that's responsible for staying with them. Choose to weaken, dismantle, demolish, replace, refuse, and reject those thoughts. When things are not going our way and we face the struggles of being alive, we should not keep on asking why it happened, why me, what have I done to deserve this? That is the corner where misery meets suffering. Two old friends that can't wait to be reunited. Here's another news alert. It did happen, and it's done. We cannot unhappen and undo it. How we respond to the circumstances or what we can do about them is what we should be asking ourselves. By living in our past and worrying about our future, we're losing our today, our now. The past is a disposal area of dead things. There is no place left for the present to enter. The dumping ground is filled half with what is no more, and the other half with what is not yet. Let me assure you, tomorrow will never arrive. That which arrives is today, which we always ignore for another tomorrow. Our future is nothing but our past extended. You easily pass through your present while still deeply rooted in your past. You sacrifice your day-to-day for yesterday or the next day. The past is gone and the future is anybody's guess. The only sure thing that you have is now. As I read somewhere, don't wait for the perfect moment. Take the moment and make it perfect. And don't worry about the could-haves. I promise you, if it should have, it would have. And if you couldn't open the door, it was not your door. What is the purpose of this life? Why so many tragedies? Why so much suffering for so many loving, nice, and young people? I kept on asking. The answer is simple. There is no answer. At least nothing evident to us. As long as we hold this physical body, we are earthbound. Our eyes cannot see, and our minds cannot comprehend beyond what we can see and comprehend. For now, there is no rhyme and reason. There is no explanation. It is a personal quest. It does not involve anyone else. Try to follow your heart, your intuition, and where it takes you. Throw away the old beliefs and throw yourself into new ones, no matter how unlikely or unfamiliar it sounds or feels. Jump into the uncharted territories. Lose yourself in the unknown. Don't be solid and rigid. Don't question it. Don't give it much thought, but accept it with open arms and welcome it with love, peace, willingness, acceptance, and tenderness. Just accept, conform, and adapt. There is no other choice. This world consists of the known, the unknown, and the unknowable. The known is what we observe and we understand. The unknown is the one that could be discovered and understood. The unknowable is a puzzle, a mystery, a secret, and will stay like that forever. Our five senses cannot comprehend or understand it, and that is why to most people it is called a nonsense. Life is not a problem to be solved or unfold or understood, but a reality to be experienced. Let go of the life that you have envisioned and planned so you can live the one that you have now. You can never start reading the next chapter if you keep on focusing on the previous ones. Cherish, appreciate, enjoy, and celebrate what you have. Do not long for what is absent. Do not focus on the blank wall and the missing painting. As a mother, there has never been a moment in my life that I have passed by my wall and not noticed that one of my masterpieces was taken away from me. But I refused to stand still, shake my head, and stare at the blank wall. When, if I just look around, I will see that I'm surrounded by other unique works of art. I look at the bare space, remember the smile, my son's smile, Stefan's smile, and I smile back. I sent him a kiss and turned my attention to the rest of the beautiful masterpieces around me. I have made a conscious decision to celebrate love and life. Doesn't make a difference if it's about love and life, found and lost, existing or absent, present or past. It is about those that were loved, are loved, and will always be loved. Love your life. Life is not here to be understood. Life is how life is. It has not stopped for anything or answered to anyone for billions of years. And it will continue to do the same for billions of years to come. Life is a mystery to be lived. Life just is. It moves forward, undisturbed. For now, live life, give love, smile, and bring happiness and brighten the room wherever you go, not whenever you go. A candle can touch and light up 1,000 other candles, and as a result, its own surrounding becomes brighter and happier. See the magic in life and be that candle. Give your light and warmth as you make your journey through life. Be alive while living. Give love, not just love, unconditional love. Surround yourself with whys and forget about why nots. Take a moment and enjoy a flower. Stand under the rain and smell the earth. Watch a sunset. Notice the stars. See the magic and be enchanted by it. Call a loved one. Listen to music. Dance. Dance with life and then smile. Smile your best smile. In life, I trust. In love, I trust. In light, I trust. Appreciate your life. Live life. Love life. Celebrate life. Most of all, choose life. After all, it chose you. Thank you. Thank you, please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, please. And thank you very much for not walking out. I guess the return policy scared everybody. Now, my dear cousin, Human Sarshar, which accepted the last minute to do the question and answer with me, which I appreciate a lot. And my dear cousin, Homajun. We will continue. Whoever has to leave, please, for their children or they have appointment or anything, please feel free to go. No money, but you can leave. Please go. You have children to put to bed. No? Okay. So if anybody has a question.